A lot of sense. LeBlanc Curb playing it so many times in the past, being so strong on it, always making plays in the early game. And of course, Kha'Zix against Cotnex. The Gragas ban, I'm a little bit surprised about it, but they simply feel that Overpower is very strong and they don't want to give him this safe champion.
Evelyn, the second jungle ban here and the final ban that Millenium had. What will Roccat finish off with? LeBlanc, Kha'Zix, the two bans from them so far. You can see Jankos there just barking out the orders. A lot of discussion going into this one from Roccat, and the facial expression from Overpower and the fact that they're talking so much about this one now tells me that things have not really gone to plan maybe for them in the ban phase.
Or they just felt they had a free ban here in the end. They felt like everything was gone. They possibly wanted to ban Evelyn themselves, and wow, Lulu's actually left open. Millenium picked it once at Intel Extreme Masters. It went to Kevin in the top lane, and it wasn't pretty. Curb, we haven't seen him play it yet. He might actually take this Lulu to the mid lane here, and I'm pretty sure it's going to surprise Roccat at least as a first pick Lulu from Millenium side.
Well, we've already seen Lulu as well in top lanes. We've seen her in the support role. Going to go pretty much anywhere here. That's going to keep Roccat guessing a little bit for now. But that gives them a little bit of free reign. With the Evelyn and the Kha'Zix ban, you have to feel that Lee Sin is going to be in there.
Well, Lee Sin, of course, Yankers, it's an option for him to take it now, or he can wait. If he thinks Cotnex is not actually playing Lee Sin, he can delay it here and get some other key picks. For instance, Renekton for Xaxus, we've seen it so many times. He loves to play it, he loves to dominate the lane. And then have Yankers coming up here, support him, dive onto the enemy top laner, get a kill, get the turret, and then from there on just start pushing down on the map. And of course with Nidalee, as an early pick here, yes, your laning phase is somewhat weak until you get your cat form, but once you get out of the laning phase, we've even seen today, 2 games, how deadly you are with your spears.
On the other side then, Shyvana taken, which all but makes it definite that Curp's going to play that Lulu in the mid lane. Of course, it still could fall to J-Reed.
Yeah.
He himself plays a little bit out of the ordinary, I think we can say, in terms of support picks. A couple of Zillions in there. Blitzcrank, of course, we've seen him play today. We'll see if that Lulu ends up in his hands or whether that'll go to Curp. Also taking the Lucian for Creatine.
Yeah, we need to see if Millenium with the 2 last picks wants some hard engage against this Nidalee, something where they can start a fight if Nidalee is poking away under the turret, because we see it time and time again. When these teams build comps without any hard CC or hard engage, it's very hard to actually get onto the team with Nidalee, and they often focus a lot on just sieging down, landing spear after spear. And with the picks from Millenium now, the best engage they can do is Shyvana coming around the side, flanking onto Roccat, and then trying to start a fight with the Wild Growth.
Well, Roccat, Overpower there, who was just going through a few different champions. Mordekaiser flashing up, but in the end they decide to go with Elise for the jungle there for Jankos and taking the Jinx for AD carry.
So what I like about Elise and Jinx together is you can use the Chompers and then the Cocoon, or the other way around, so you can lock down a target for a long time, especially if you want to disengage. If you're moving backwards, throw down the traps, fire the Cocoon it, land the target, then you can turn it because you can land a spear, someone will drop low, and this is the target you're gonna go for. And with this setup then, also with Elise, who's able to hit the turrets because she is ranged as soon as she's out of her spider form, they're gonna have some very, very good tower pushing possibilities as long as Xaxus is up in the top lane split pushing.
So J-Reed literally going through the entire champion pool here. Blitzcrank was the choice from earlier on today, played Leona yesterday in their win against the Super Hot Crew. And actually they are going to be taking Wukong here for the jungle, and Leona will fall in the hands of J-Reed again.
So, just as we talked about here, they needed hard engage. Millenium, of course, they were perfectly aware of this, locking in 2 of the best. You can actually have Wukong, of course, stealth in, jump, Cyclone around, just knock up people here. Leona, one of the best supports, if not the best support at starting fights. So, a lot of engage now onto Millenium side. A very, very strong lineup here from them. As long as Cotnex, as long as Kevin up in the top lane can survive, he's one-on-one against Xaxus. This lineup here, good laning phase, good jungler who needs level 6 for the full-on strong ganks here, but still before level 6, he can still come in here and do something good damage onto Wukong early on. So Millenium's lineup all around very, very strong, and they scale so well also into the late game.
On the other side then for Roccat, they're looking for their support in this one. Vander currently sat with Morgana, and that Black Shield certainly can be very, very useful, especially for the Leona.
And it's really fitting in with the whole combo of, we are gonna siege down your turrets. When you try to engage, we're just gonna run. Kite backwards all the time, land few spears, land some either the traps or land a cocoon, and then once someone goes low from Millenium, we turn the fight around. And that, again, the whole combo here from Roccat, is relying on the fact that Black Shield is going to be applied when Leona tries to engage or when Wukong jumps in to make sure a key target is not going to get locked up. And also, they need to win the laning phase, because if they fall behind with this, where's the wave clear? Morgana is not going to max the Tormented Soil. Of course, Jinx, very weak or very risky wave clear because you have to go in and auto-attack the minions all the time. And Nidalee, you're not going to be able to just jump in cat form, clear the wave, as long as Millenium are actually sieging onto you. So Roccat here, they need to win the early game. But if they do, if they get a lead, they can start sieging around. And it's going to be very hard for Millenium unless they feel confident enough just engaging straight onto them.
And Roccat themselves have had a few problems with the early game. They seem to have sorted that out recently, but again, they've not found a consistent level. They're winning a game here, losing a couple, winning a game, losing one, and they needed that consistency.
Well, again, Roccat is like every single European team at the moment.
That's
like,
true.
Win one, lose one, win one, lose one here. But every time Roccat is losing, it's always because the early game goes completely wrong. Someone from the other team goes completely ham, and boom, Roccat had 0 answers.
And the fact is that Millenium, for the first time this season, have 2 wins in a row. A little bit late to do it, but also you might say peaking at the right time here. We're going to have a look at your voting from lolesports.com and check out exactly what you guys think is going to happen in this match. 80-20 in favor of Roccat. Now, if you look at the table, you might say justified. If you look at the results, it's a big amount for Roccat.
Well, again, Roccat, they will be the favorites here, but I actually think Millenium got a few extra votes here because they have been winning 2 games in a row. So they have been playing better. Cotnex is coming in here showing some great energy, great early aggression as well. So this Millenium team, even though they're bottom in the standings, you cannot count them out.
So here we go then, in-game Millenium versus Roccat. Can Millenium pull off another upset? They've already beaten both the Super Hot Crew and Alliance in Super Week here, and sadly for them, they can't get themselves out of that last position, however well they do, but it's all about looking forward to the future and getting some more experience with that new man, Cotnex.
Exactly, it's just about playing now, it's about doing the best you can and then go back and rewatch these replays, use them to fix whatever mistakes you had so you can sort them before the relegation, where you're most likely going to face either Cloud9 or NIP by the looks of it, seeing as they will not be able to choose their own team from Millenium as they are the bottom team.
And the dream of a 6-way tie is still possible. Millenium have to win this game to keep that one going. I know a few of you guys on Reddit are following that one very, very closely. So far the game's going in the right way. But currently, Millenium set with a line. Millenium themselves have gone for a couple of early invades so far this week.
Yeah, and they actually also used to do it even before the changes here to the trinkets. They were always a team to start something. It seems for now, both teams are happy just waiting it out, and it looks like standard lanes. And if you then go through the lanes here, top lane, we see it so many times. Shyvana against Renekton, Renekton with Ignite as well to the teleport actually of Shyvana here. So Renekton needs to have the full pressure, needs to win the laning phase. And then Jankos here, one of the best junglers in the game at diving because he's having this Elise where he can always repel up and reset the tower aggro. So he needs to go up here and punish Kevin for picking teleport and for having a weaker laner.
We can see that the start looks fairly tame. Millenium starting off with their blue buff. Kevin going to give Cotnex a bit of help there, and the duo lane of Roccat helping off Jankos get his blue buff starting, and then they're going to head down into this lane to face off against Creaton on Lucian and J-Ree on Leona. What do we think to this lane overall, this duo head-to-head?
Well, we've talked about it a few times, especially yesterday, where Leona against Morgana. In the laning phase as Leona, you do have some chances to actually outplay the Morgana, because if you send the blades onto them, you bait out the Black Shield, and then you switch target and stun the AD carry instead of the person, or if then the Black Shield himself, you stun instead onto Jinx, and that's where you can set something up. So you need to bait out the Black Shield, turn all the CC around, and then you fully engage onto whoever you actually stun, and that's the way you can play as Leona in the laning phase, but it's very hard to do. And coming out of the laning phase, it's where Morgana with the Black Shield will shine, because it's easy for him to predict when is the engage going to come.
And Vanda putting down constant harassment there, stood right up at the front, allowing Celiva complete freedom to be farming there in that lane. And he's going to throw this minion wave straight onto the tower. Cotnex has already done that blue. He's now on the bottom side of his jungle doing his red buff, which with the help of that smite, he'll get done pretty quickly. Mid lane, Kerp on Lulu versus Overpowers in Italy. What do we think to that one?
Well, again, Nidalee early on, she needs to get the level 6 before she can really start wave clearing. She doesn't provide any CC, and her damage is very low. So it's hard to set something up with Nidalee. You saw actually Jankos just peeking in, backing off again. Didn't actually want to go for anything. Just wanted to be there for a possible counter gank if Cotnex would be nearby. So yeah, Nidalee just needs to farm here early on. Where Curb, of course, he needs to punish the Nidalee. He needs to deny her CS. He needs to maybe even try and force her completely out of the lane.
So far, not really been able to do that. It does have a slight edge in terms of the farm, and
it's gonna be big after this.
Actually just hitting a level 4, but yeah, indeed, Kerp has got the rest of this wave to farm himself freely as it pushes towards him. Meanwhile, top lane, we know how much of a problem these Renekton's can be in the early stages. Kevin so far is quite happy to let that wave push up as far as possible.
Kevin early on here actually keeping up in CS fairly well, but it's just the first few waves. They don't matter too much because it's here Renekton in these levels all the way up to like level 9, 10, 11. He's gonna be the strong champion. He's gonna try and just deny CS actually from Shyvana here. So we got kind of mixed around lanes compared to the mid lane where it's Millenium who's supposed to win it. So let's see if both of them can actually win their lanes 1v1 or they need some jungle help.
Well, it's been quiet in terms of the junglers. We're, I suppose, only 4.5 minutes into this one, but we see now Jankos is actually moving through the Millenium jungle. Is he going to try and come in from the backside of Kerp and catch him out from that one? Some pings down to the bottom lane as the duo of Roccat actually just came up to put a ward down, and there's no ward in the tri-bush here. Millenium quite far back though. They should be relatively safe here.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard gank to pull off here from Jankos because they're so close to the turret. Diving so early on a dual lane is very, very risky, so I don't exactly expect him to go under the turret. But maybe he was just trying to force away a summoner in case the binding had landed from Vander.
And especially a duo lane that has so much CC in there with J-Re. And in the end, actually, Jankos did decide, nope, not going to be able to do anything there. Recalls off to base and will come back out with Boots of Speed. So, let's have a look around the map then. We see that Cotnex staying fairly quiet in this one. Did have a look towards bottom earlier on, but it's been mostly about farming since then.
Yeah, but again, on Wukong, you want to get your level 6 before you really start ganking away. You want to have your Cyclone. Yes, your damage is fine early on here, but you don't provide any CC, so it's hard for you to set ganks up. At least you need help from whoever is in the lane before you can actually really go in and do something. You can still come down here to the top lane, bot lane, sorry, apply some pressure. Maybe again also force a summoner, but at level 6 for him, that's where we need to see what Millenium can do here in the bottom lane. We see J-Re going on, first target, instant black shield, and that's where he then changes target onto the person without the black shield with his ultimate once he's level 6, and then also Cotnex coming in and they can lock down a target.
And the danger in there, we saw Celiva and Vander. I mean, the black shield landing, the chompers coming in there. That's a long time to be locked up here, and that left Creatine fairly hurting in terms of his HP. But look at this, Jankos has got in behind Kevin. This is gonna force a flash out of Kevin, but we didn't see the cocoon. That's a good dodge, but has he got enough health to survive this one? Stun comes in, first blood comes down for Roccat. Bottom lane though, Celiva going left. Cotnex actually diving. He's gonna die for it though.
He's gonna die for it here, but still, back to the top lane. Very nice gank from Jankos. Kevin, he tried to get the level 6, that's why he stayed so far up in the lane. Sasus already hit the level 6 mark, so it's a very good and easy gank actually for Roccat. Get the kill here. Baiting out, waiting for the flash before the cocoons. He dodged the cocoon, but it meant that Sasus actually got in range to stun him instead. Down the bottom lane. Trading 1-1 and now going on to Vander.
Oh, this could be dangerous. J-Re tanking up that turret there. And, well, we're going to see another replay of that down bottom.
Yeah, so we actually see J-Re going in here. Vander popped the black shield, then changed targets over to Celivar, and because he's so low, Cotnex, he obviously knows he's gonna die from this one, but still, he feels it's worth it to trade 1-for-1, also because Vander picked up the kill from Roccat.
And no kills did happen there underneath the turret. J-Re did take a lot of damage from it, but in the end they were able to walk away from that one. And I say walk away from it, J-Re did have to use his flash. There is the first blue buff of the game going over to the mid laners as well. And now Roccat, having pushed Millenium away, are going to look to get some damage on the turret.
And Roccat can get this entire wave in here actually, and they've already been back to shop, at least Celivar has. He's got the BF sword so far, so he can get a lot of damage onto this turret. Only J-Re is there to defend, and he won't be able to wave clear.
No wave clear at all with that Leona, and that means Celiva with that minigun on just going to strip through the health of the turret. They might even get it with this wave, you know.
J-Re would have to actually go aggressive onto them to try and force them away, but without any flash, it's too risky for him. He didn't want to risk getting binded there and then just killed instantly.
So back to top lane. Kevin having to come a little bit further off his turret than before. Of course, did go down to that first blood that went over to Jankos on Elise. He's coming back in with the chain vest and got himself a ward as well. It's going to last him a little bit longer and give him early warning as to when Jankos comes around next.
The Cotnex, red buff, already level 6, ultimate is ready. The flash is gone, so of course he needs to be able to stealth in and then jump towards him and then activate Cyclone. He won't have the flash to get some extra distance here. But this is where we can see him set up some very, very strong ganks. Also combined with Wild Growth from Curb. Double knock up here for whenever they actually decide to do something.
And speaking of Curb, he has now started to work that CS advantage in his favor. 77 to 61. A Roccat thinking of a Dragon here. See, Overpower going to have his lane pushed against him. Jankos was there, the duo was around as well, but there's actually a ward in the back of it. But look at Wukong's position, they may try and come in.
Yeah, Curb just staying up here, actually baiting out. He wanted Jankos to go aggressive onto him so Wukong could join in here and they could actually turn the fight around. But nothing happening here. Jankos staying safe, don't want to risk anything.
Cornex did have full vision there of Jankos, and I think was thinking about, do I go in, do I stealth in there and have a attempt at getting the kill. Right now though, the wards are coming down around the Dragon area. We saw the pinks from Roccat. Question is, are they feeling secure enough to think about starting off the Dragon?
Well, I like at least the fact they put up these 2 early pink wards, because with Elise you can actually start the Dragons early on. Yes, here in 4.4, your damage onto the Dragon is nerfed, but still, combined with either the help from your mid lane or the AD carry, you can still easily take it. But Jankos needs to be careful.
Oh, there's a stealth going in. Actually, Wild Growth, and Jankos flashes away before Cotnex could hit his ultimate. Didn't get the knock up from it. Yes, Jankos has to use his flash, but 2 ultimates burned from Millenium.
Yeah, 2 ultimates down. Instantly Roccat now going towards this Dragon. Pink ward there, they just cleared the ward, so they should be able to pick this one up. Or will Millenium try and fight? There's no ultimate on Wukong or Curb.
Kevin does have his teleport back off cooldown as well, and Roccat seeing Curb coming in, seeing J-Ree from the bottom side, decide probably not the best idea to kick this one off, but they are going to try and bring Millenium into this. It's a bit of a pincer movement that would have to be pulled off. The Dragon now going very, very low, but there is the peel away. Jankos going off to the top side. There is the Zenith Blade landing. Vander going to get everything thrown at him, but it's flashed away. The Cully comes through. It's actually Cotnex that picks up the kill there in the end. 1 for 0. Can Millenium take Dragon? Couple of men low there.
And Roccat actually decided to split up here. A few members went for Curb, who was kiting them away, and then they engaged onto Vander, picked up the kill. And one thing we need to remember with Nidalee, in a straight up fight, she's not very strong. She needs to land the poke before the fight starts, otherwise she won't actually bring too much.
That big hit of damage onto one person, then diving in and just hoping that they don't turn around and focus. You've got the Chalice and a single Doran's Ring at this point. So he once again gets forced underneath his turret here and tries to claw some of that CS deficit back. 101 to 77. The Athene's Unholy Grail is already done here for Curb, and he's just about to come back into that lane.
But still also, very good job by Millenium actually staying around. Knew they could stop this Dragon. They didn't just give it up for free despite having 2 ultimates gone. So they knew also with Roccat tanking the Dragon, of course, and with the Nidalee pick, they could go in, pick up a kill, and they didn't actually risk anything because the only reason they engaged was because Vander was split from the team. So it took an easy kill, stopped Dragon, so very nice play.
There is that pink one finally removed from the map by Millenium. And actually they're going to set themselves a little bit of a trap here. Vander is coming across from the side, and he will put another ward down around that one. Dragon, of course, wasn't done, so that is the next target for both of these teams. Keep your eye on Kevin there in the top lane. As I said, his teleport is ready to get him involved should a fight kick off.
Yeah, but if he teleports away, his turret will go down for sure. Of course, it's going to go down anyway, but as long as he can delay it for a few minutes, it's still a win for Millenium here. But if he teleports down to Dragon, the turret is gone, and Xaxus might even push all the way down to the next turret.
There's a bit of a support ward battle down where that pink ward was placed by Millenium. And they have, in fact, cleared that one out. Dragon still standing here, and you can see how both of these teams, how much they want to get that Dragon going, and are now going to remove that pink ward that Millenium put down just a little bit earlier on, meaning that Millenium are going to have to push a little further. They do have one at the back of the Dragon pit itself, so they still have vision on whether Roccat are doing that or not.
Roccat were just waiting for the chance to actually start it. Again, with Elise, you can take it very fast. That's why they continue to stay around. Now they're actually starting to push already very early on, but simply due to the bottom tower already being gone, and them playing this siege combo, they can start now early on here. They need to be careful. Teleport behind him.
Cottonex is coming in as well. Is he going to go? Cyclone will come in here. Celeber getting locked up. Flashes away. The Dragon going in as well. And that is Kevin picking up a single kill here for Millenium.
So he gets a kill here. His top turret is going to be gone. The blue buff is gone. Millenium, though, pushing onto this mid turret. The minions are coming in for them here. Can't actually take it because the wave clear on Roccat side is very, very weak.
A little bit cautious about doing that one. They want to get this turret out of the way. Jankos is moving in from the side though, and that means that that turret does stay safe. And Millenium start off the Dragon fight. Will they be able to pick this one up before the team comes in? Super Mega Death Rocket is going to land onto Cottonex. Not enough to take him down. The rest of the team are taking a bit of damage. Kirp actually going to be jumped onto. Uses the Wild Growth on himself. Dragon does go over to Millenium, but there's the kill. Jankos getting locked up. Are they going to keep chasing? Overpower has to jump over the wall there. Cottonex's clone is the one that actually gets caught up in the dark binding, but Zazas is chasing from the backside. Jerry at half HP just saunters on away.
So Millenium managed to pick up the Dragon here, but it's a bit of a split decision for them. After they won the team fight or picked up the one kill, some of them were pushing mid lane. We had Kevin moving up towards the top lane and backing off, and then they delayed going towards the Dragon. They could have rushed it with 5 men, instantly picked it up for free here. Instead, they gave up a kill, and now Roccat getting a lot of damage onto this mid turret.
And a lot of damage will result in the kill. Kevin trying to get them away, but they knew that they didn't need to be scared of that one. But Zazas and Jankos had come around from this one, and well, they've got that top, middle, and bottom outer turrets now. That leaves them 3-0 in turrets ahead, and therefore they've got that gold lead in as well.
And this is going to make it harder for Cottonex to engage onto Roccat, because if they decide to group up, push down towards Millenium, get some wards around the Wraith camps, around the Wolf camp from them, so they can spot him out coming in from the side, they can just start sieging away with full vision and then back off if they see him actually move around in the flanks. So the fact they got all these 3 outer turrets down means for Roccat they have all the chances, as long as they have proper wards, to set up a good siege.
There was the blue buff camp finally cleared out. That, of course, was stolen away just a little bit earlier on. Kevin's going to have a bit of time to get some farm back. If you look at his farm total here, fallen way behind Zazas. As we'd expect, Kevin only just now hitting level 10. He's at 105 to the 142 CS that Zazas has built himself up there. Well on his way to becoming dangerous. Got that Tiamat in there with a Negatron Cloak. Some Fire Cape done on the other side though for Kevin. That'll give him a bit more confidence in that lane against Zazas now.
But look here, he's actually already being able to fight against him just because he got the early armor now, doing a lot of good damage onto Zazas. And Shyvana will be outscaling him. It's just a matter of time before Zazas is forced to either just try and defend by his own turret or actually move away from this lane, because Kevin will just bully him out of it.
One thing we have to point out here as well, 2 of the 3 kills for Roccat are on the support, which, whilst not being ideal, has given him a boatload of items at this point. Got himself the Chalice in there, the Frostfang, as well as Boots of Speed and a Sightstone as well. So he's going to be helping his team move through this, although you probably have to say, if those 2 kills were with Celeber, they'd be even more dangerous.
Yeah, of course, but support-wise with gold, early on it's actually not bad getting a kill or 2, because again, you can get early Mikhails, you can get some early vision control, early pink wards here, so that's fine. He's actually already picking up the Mikhails now, 16 minutes in. And that's a very important item, because Leona ultimates onto, let's say, Celeber, Mikhail's Crucible onto him, save him, get him out of the stun, and actually so he can back off. So getting this item early on is not a bad thing for Roccat, but of course getting gold onto your carries is always the best thing.
Oh, Cottonex is going to be pushed onto there by Zazas, but again the decoy was the one that Zazas ended up going for. Saw Jankos coming in thanks to that ward in the Tribush there as well, so Cottonex was there more for safety than anything else. Jankos now moving around to the mid lane.
We also see Roccat here. They don't feel confident enough just grouping up because of what happened beforehand with the teleport from Kevin coming in behind. They still respect the engage combo from Millenium that can pile onto them. They don't feel that tanky enough or far enough ahead to just group up, start sieging. That's why they're spreading out in these lanes, just continuing the laning phase, getting the farm they want.
So Jerry here going to actually face check in. He's going to use that Zenith Blades. The Ankos a little bit far up from this, or maybe Cocoon not landing. Cottonex actually taking a decent blast of damage, and Roccat really controlling that later area of Millennium's jungle, let's call it, as they constantly keep throwing those wards down in there.
And that was the thing we talked about. Roccat wants to get some wards into the jungle of Millennium so they can always spot Cottonex or Kevin if they try to flank around him, because that's going to be the engage for Millennium, having them come out of vision. So Roccat never expects it, stealth in with Wukong, jump in, and then Cyclone, and you catch on to a few members, or maybe even very important members, something like if they get Overpower and Celevar in the Cyclone, it's perfect for Millenium, they can pile onto it. So that's why they want this vision, that's why they are so careful whenever they're moving in and making sure that Millenium can't clear it.
Black with the duos now in this bottom lane, and Creaton has got the early CS lead despite having a few problems in that early stage where he took a lot of damage thanks to the Dark Binding and the Chompers combo. He's ahead nicely in the farm. They got himself that Bloodthirster already and moving up towards a Trinity Force next by the looks of it. Other side of things, Bloodthirster also done for Celevar. He's got himself Berserker Grease finished off earlier. And
he's recalling now. He should have some good gold to at least possibly buy a seal with this. So he's going to get some more attack speed. Of course, get a little bit of crit here. Good for him. Looking at the rest of the teams, the key thing now is a large rod onto Overpower. So his spears are going to start to hurt even more. Once he completes the death cap, that's going to be the call time for Roccat to say, okay, start grouping up here. Land one spear, you force the person from Millenium to back off. Land the second one, he's dead.
We got to the stage in the top lane where both champions got a bit of damage in there, both pretty tanky. The Sunfire Cape is done actually for Xaxus on top of his Tiamat and that Negatron Cloak from earlier. There's a Negatron Cloak now being done as well for Kevin. So both in a similar scenario. We'll see how that one all develops. Xaxus constantly pushing down that lane as the battle for vision continues down on this bottom side. We've seen so many wards so far in this area of the map.
It is the key area, especially also with Dragon coming up here in 8 seconds. Both teams want to fight for it. Millenium needs to make sure they don't fall further behind. And Roccat, of course, as we talked about, they want to extend this lead. They want to get to the point where they don't feel like even if Millenium gets a good engage, that they will just straight up lose the fight. They want to get to the point where they're so strong, they can just kite away, turn around, get a kill, and then take objectives.
This could get interesting down on the bottom lane. We have Vander and Jankos just coming out from the brush, but as those minions go down, we see Millenium actually backing away from that one, not wanting to get involved for the fight. The blue buffs are going to be coming back up, and that's going to be another one going over towards Overpower.
Look at Xaxus here in the mid lane, already moving from the top, so he's going to join in with his team around this Dragon Age. Should signal for Roccat. They want to start it. Teleport is ready though on Kevin, so he can always join in. Xaxus just shoving out the mid lane, and Roccat actually started it.
Dragon down to half HP. Can Millenium come across and try and steal this one? No, they can't. Not quite. Roccat pick themselves up their first Dragon of the game. One of two only, of course, at 20 minutes and 40 into this one. But it extends Rockat's healthy gold lead.
Yeah, and all the wards they use so much gold on to get down here around this area actually paid off because they got the Dragon. Xaxus, again, with a good move. This is what you can do when you have full control of your lane. You can push it down, then start moving in. Therefore, create an advantage for your own team. And now, returning to the top lane, he's just going to push it down once again. And it also means for Kevin, if he teleports away to set something up, then Xaxus will stay and get some damage on his turret.
Kevin actually just coming in there halfway down the lane and stopping that big wave as it goes through. And
so much
a healthy
damage.
Bit of farm. But we see Kevin wandering over on the top side. He may just be forced to use his ultimate here. Actually gets that burnout running, which of course is going to keep him very, very quick. And there is the ultimate. Has to just dive over the wall. Didn't want to get caught out.
Didn't want to get caught out here, but Overpower going up to the top lane, and then with the Roccat bot lane recalled. Actually a turret now because Cotnex was down in the bot lane. So Millenium getting some objective gold here. The first turret of the game. So nice pickup.
Leaves them 3,000 gold behind as Cotnex actually does get hit there by the slow. Can Vander land the binding? No, he can't. Jerry and Cruton now coming in as well, but Jankos is off to the side. He's going to throw the cocoon. Doesn't quite have the range. There's Overpower getting a little bit caught out here by Kerp. That slow going to be a bit of a problem for him. Flashing actually from Kerp. The ignite goes down as well. That won't be enough to finish off Overpower. He'll be able to heal things up.
And here's the thing about Kerp. Normally, you actually... This time around with blue buff, he had 32% cooldown reduction, so he could do the double Little Lance when he puts the E on to Overpower here. But he's actually only having 22% cooldown reduction without the blue buff because he doesn't have runes with it. And Masteries, he doesn't get enough from it now because he didn't decide to go into it with his runes where he normally get 5%. It means he won't get the doubled Little Lance normally when he activates the E. Which is a bit weird, because normally Lulu, you want to get to this, I believe it's 28% or maybe it's actually 30%, and then you get the double Little Lance on your E.
Now we see then the damage once again coming across towards Overpower. They had Jerry waited on the top side as well, so possibility to get in there for a bit of action. Meanwhile, down on the bottom side, Roccat have pushed up this bottom lane once again. And there is the culling used by Creaton just to clear out any danger.
Look here how Millenium are actually moving around, staying with as a group with these 3 members, just having Kraton down in bot lane, wave clearing, so they don't want to risk being caught up because they know Roccat is having everything warded in this area here, and if they split up, it just means for Roccat they can walk in your jungle, find you and kill you here. So Millenium is playing very careful, trying to defend every single lane, and now DefCap on to overpower. Let's see if Roccat decides to group up. He even bought a blue potion, so it should really mean we're gonna group up now and start sieging.
Seems like the logical thing to do. And Roccat actually, you see, as a team, if all 5 of them recalling from items. This one, so they're going to build up by exactly whatever they can here to think about pushing down some of these turrets. Actually, we did see also, once again, Xaxus really pushing heavily on this top lane, Kevin. And I have to come up and do that one.
And Celevar now getting his last Whisper. I believe he's having like 1,000 gold to go back and buy it. Key item, DefCap, last Whisper now, very, very strong moment for Roccat. This is the time for him really to go down and say, we are now strong enough. If you want to fight us, Millenium, we will beat you, even though you get a good engage onto us. So let's see here, Celevar actually running all the way down to mid lane. So it seems Roccat want to get some vision control about Baron and then start sieging down. And if they get a kill or 2, they can then go up and take the Baron.
Well, they have that vision control. A good sweep from Vander will give them all of that vision. Is Kevin actually going to come through? Dark Binding does land onto him here. They're going to dive onto him as a team. There is a good solar flare coming out from Jerry. Kevin did have to use his ultimate to go away. Jerry probably saved his life there.
And very, very good for them to actually force away the ultimate. It's one of the things Millenium can use to engage, and they instantly start the Baron here. No vision from Millenium, but they are pinging it, so they're moving up here.
They know that this one surely is going down. The entire Roccat team has disappeared from their map, and now we have actually Continex coming in from the backside, gets hit straight away. He's actually stuck on top of the pink ward there, and the super mega death rocket comes through. Overpower hits him with the spear as well, and there is the pickup coming in for Roccat. Can Millenium get away from it? Wild growth use onto Kraton, but he's gonna fall. That's horrible news for Millenium. Not only the Baron, but they're gonna lose so many men. Spear just flashing by Kevin, so close. Look at those flashing health bars. What is that? I thought that had actually landed onto him, apparently not. Now Kerp is trying to run away from Jankos, but here comes Overpower again. The spear not quite connecting for him, but Kerp's basically running into no man's land. He's going to try and, I was going to say execute himself, but actually he's trying to run away and buy some time. But is he buying that much time? The rest of the team is actually pushing the inhibitor turret. There is the spear landing. Kerp's not going to get away from this one. Overpower gets that kill. Meanwhile, inhibitor turret did go down on the top lane.
And look at the decision making from Roccat. Force away the ultimate from Kevin, instantly just start the Baron. As soon as Continex shows up, they poke him down, force him to flash away. He couldn't join in, there was no smite from Millenium, so they pick it up despite 4 members actually trying to stop them, get the Baron, win the team fight, and instantly 3 members just start pushing down, take 2 turrets, and they also get a kill on Kerp, who was running around, being chased by Overpower and also by Jankos.
So we saw in our last game, SK falling behind against a poke composition. They managed to come back into this game. What do Millenium have to do to turn it around?
Millenium needs to get to the situation, or actually just wait for Roccat to push down. Hope someone like Xaxus is going to be in the top lane, so there are only 4 members pushing. And then just say, you know what? We're going to give you either the inhibitor or the turret. Possibly not the inhibitor, that's not the smartest thing for it, but that's why they need to engage when there's only 4 members from Roccat. Pile on with Wukong, Wild Growth, everything, and just try and lock them down and destroy them instantly. That's the only thing they can do. If they delay engaging and get hit by a spear, one guy has to go back. They can't engage. Need to wait for him to come back to base. Another spear, boom, nothing they can do. They need to just straight up engage. Otherwise, they're gonna be poked down.
9,000 gold is the advantage for Roccat. We see Kerp and Continex there waiting in the brush. Both hitting their recalls. Do they actually want to go back, or are they just trying to bait Xaxus out? Yep, just checking to see if he had vision of them there. And actually, they're just going to come appear on that turret. But really, this Crocodile's pretty strong. I'm not sure if you want to dive him. There's a lot of damage coming in actually on towards Continex and to Kevin. And funnily enough, Xaxus alone underneath the tower says, you can't even take me. You didn't do any damage. You didn't take the turret. And my team is pushing down the middle.
And you just asked me, what should Millenium do?
Not that.
This was not the answer at all. They should have been here at the turret and just try and set up a fight with the engaged combo and not try and go 3 members up top against a very, very strong Renekton who's now chasing onto them. They can just go to the base. They don't even have to get these kills.
This is going to go really, really bad for them. There is the Dragon form. Oh, they're going to lose J-Re. He does get down the Solar Flare, which is going to slow Roccat down somewhat. The rest of the team did start to recall. Creatine is off to the side there as well, trying to push out that mid lane as much as possible. They can. Xaxus is going to tank that turret up, and we can see how much damage it does to him. It's really not that much. We'll have to back off now, though, that the calling comes through.
Yeah, but with the Baron buff, with the heal from Nidalee, easy enough just to get the HP back here. So Xaxus, no issue for him. He can always move in, take a few hits while Celavi is hitting the turret, and then back off, heal it up, no problem. And Roccat is so far ahead now. Even if Millenium do get the perfect engage, I'm not sure it's enough.
We're going to find out with that one. And always hard to stay and defend a turret when you've got that Nidalee throwing in the spears. You've got Dark Bindings, Cocoons. You've got the zaps coming through from Jinx. There's a lot of poke coming your way. You can't dodge it all. As there's a spear actually landing onto Cortex and Celavi. Just using that minion wave, stepping forward, getting a couple of hits off. Kevin's at less than half HP as well.
And again, this is also why we see this Elise pick for them, so they always can get a few extra hits with Celavi, and there's more people hitting the turrets every time they're sieging. So Roccat and they are just doing perfectly well. Now they engage.
Cortex going in, but the Dark Binding means that his ultimate really doesn't do much for them. He is going to surely fall from this. It's a spear of overpower that gets him the kill. Now they start to chase towards Creatine. Can they land that CC onto him? The Cocoon will land, and there are the fangs sunk in onto him. Actually, with a double kill for overpower in the end with the Nidalee, and that is 3 men down. Roccat are going to look to finish.
And Millenium, they did the only thing they could do here. They just tried to engage, but they're so far behind. They did absolutely nothing against Roccat.
And there we go. Nexus turrets will fall. Kirby's going to die one last time. Roccat hungry for blood. They're going to pick up the victory here and go 15 for 12. A win that they were really counting on here to give them the best possible seeding going into playoffs.
And they did their job. They picked a combo where they needed to win the early game. They got ahead early on, picked up the second dragon, actually gave up the first one to Millenium, but they picked up the second one. They were always slightly heading goal. Good vision control around the river, around the dragon area, and then as soon as they just got a small lead, as soon as they forced the ultimate from Kevin, instantly just took the Baron, and from there on, there was nothing Millenium could do.
Have one more game coming their way tomorrow. That's against Fnatic. Millenium also going to have to play against SK, and I think even if Millenium went 2-2 this Super Week, they'd still be happy with that, considering everything that's happened, considering they've got a new man in the team. It's all about improving, moving in towards the promotion tournament.
Yeah, and a game like this,